was trying not to break my neck. You know, there were people everywhere, and I'm like, what am I doing? But I still had a lot of fun. Got one of my favorite shots, which I'll show you because I got in the darkroom and lift printed it. So I'll show you that at the end. What's going on, YouTube? I am back. I have never made a video like this before, what's in my bag, mostly because I just have too many camera bags. Most of you can probably relate. Recently I went snowboarding with my daughter. It was her second time out, and I wanted to try to take some like intentional movement shots with my the F1, a Canon F1, and I realized that I didn't really have a camera bag that fit to go snowboarding with. I have several, but most of my bigger packs are too big. I have a day pack, but it doesn't have a way for me to access the camera. So I started looking at different camera bags, and I kind of came up short, and I was giving up a little bit when the folks at Brevite reached out and actually asked me to check out this bag and do a review. So this is somewhat of a review of this bag, but it worked out perfectly because they sent me this bag 2 days before I left for Minnesota. Actually, I think I got it the day before, so I was like, am I gonna get it, am I not? And I was like, well, I can always just, stick my camera in my pocket. But luckily this bag came, and it was really, really cool. We had a lot of fun. It was Avery's only second time out snowboarding, but she did really awesome. And I hadn't been snowboarding, well, I went twice this year, but it's been quite a while. So, but of course, because I'm a photographer, like any event for me is like, hey, let's take pictures. And so I wasn't quite, let's just say that I should have been more focusing on not breaking my neck than taking pictures. But I still can snowboard, so it wasn't that detrimental to my health. I had a lot of fun. I did get some good shots, but like I said, I probably should have been more focused on relearning snowboarding myself. But hey, it is what it is. Here's a few of the shots that I did take. I think what I love most about this bag is it's super lightweight. It doesn't necessarily look like a camera bag, so it's a little bit, safer leaving, well, I wouldn't leave anything around these days, but it is a little bit safer, and it's a very nice looking bag. So let me just go through and show you exactly what I packed, and this is kind of like what's in my bag, 35 millimeter. So for the camera, I have a Canon F1, and this is a 35 millimeter. Yeah, Canon FD 35, it's an f2 lens. And I think I shot a couple with the other lens I have in here, but I shot most of the pictures of Avery snowboarding with this lens because it's just really good. And I tried sticking to around a 30th of a second to a 15th of a second to kind of give that camera shake. So my intention was to meter with a Sekonic light meter, just because Avery was wearing all black, and just because of the sheer brightness of snow and the backlighting, I wanted to be able to get proper exposure on her. Now, I didn't really use this very much. Like I said, things were a little bit hectic, and I ended up just kind of metering, and I used ND filters, and I'll get to that in a second. But back to like what's in my bag. So what I love about this is that the camera fits here, and this is what I was looking for, like a bag that has access via a side compartment. So this really allowed me to, access the camera. Just swing off my shoulder, I could access the camera and then put it back. Anyway, that's a feature that I love. So I had my light meter in one pocket with a cloth. Let's see this. here is my main camera. I had my 50mm 1.2 lens in there. And then I recently acquired, my uncle gave me this camera, and I'll show you another camera that he gave me in a second. So thank you, Uncle Mike, you're awesome. This Pentax, just point and shoot. It's a Pentax Zoom 70R, and it's really, I've been having a lot of fun with it. And the funny thing is, it's got a date on the back, and I was trying to figure out how to set the encoder to put the date on it. And I have the manual, and I was going through, and it says, this state-of-the-art camera can set the date from 1983 till 2017. I was like, oh crap. But anyway, I guess they didn't plan on like anybody being around using these past 2017. So I can't really use the quartz date, but I can still like imprint like numbers and stuff on it, which kind of looks cool. But anyway, I thought that was cool, so I packed this camera in there. Then I got rolls of film. This is for the action cam. Plenty of film. So there's actually quite a bit of room in here. I do like the dividers. It's just enough. You know, like I could easily pack a few more lenses if I didn't have a second camera. But that's what I had in the main part of the camera. Just my other lens, like I said, I wanted to mostly use the 35mm, and then I had another lens if I wanted to get a little bit more, you know, close. And then I had my light meter, which I'll get into that. It was a little bit hectic and I didn't use the meter, but I like having this meter. I tend to use incident light meters or incident reading for portraits most of the time when shooting film. I find it really just gets really good skin tones and gets everything right. Don't have to worry about backlighting or anything like that. So plenty of room for film, action cam stuff. Then with this camera, I was shooting like HP5. Yeah, I shot HP5 the whole time. In bright sun, super snowy day. So I knew right off the bat I was going to need ND filters to get my shutter speed down to around 1/30th of a second or lower. I ended up having to shoot the film at ISO 200, and I used, well, I have a little notebook in here, some ND filters. And here's another part that I really like because it fit these filters and stuff like perfectly. So here's a step-up ring. What else do I got? Here's a filter. So this is the ND filter that I was using, I believe. Yeah, it's a 1.5. So I don't use step-up filters a ton. I don't use filters in general. So when I do, I use step-up filters. Here, this is the one I was using. Okay, I got a lot of filters. So this is the one that I was using. And this actually got me around, this was a 0.9. So this was a 3-stop ND, and I felt that got me in the best range of the ND filters that I do have. And I believe I ended up shooting mostly about f11 to f16 and about 1/30th of a second to a 15th of a second for some of the shots. And according to my meter, I was still a few stops over, but because she was wearing black and the snow behind her was just blazing, it wasn't, I actually, some of them were actually a little bit underexposed. So I didn't use the incident meter like I planned, because like I said, I was trying not to break my neck. You know, there were people everywhere and I'm like, what am I doing? But I still had a lot of fun. Got one of my favorite shots, which I'll show you because I got in the darkroom and lift printed it. So I'll show you that at the end. This was pretty much my setup. So I did a little twisting, did a little of this, just tried following her. And at the same time, she did have a lesson in the morning. And then we just kind of had fun on the hill. So I shot 2 rolls. I do like some of the shots I got for sure. Let me show you some of the other stuff on this bag, since that's what they were cool enough to send me this, and I said, yeah, I'll definitely show people this bag and let people know what I think. And I honestly think it's a great bag. There is a spot for like a little tripod. It's got a cool, it's just kind of a latch. So you could do like a tripod or light stand. There's another one on the bottom here. I would have to say my favorite feature is on the other side, right here. This came in super handy. There's just a nice, it fits a phone perfectly on the back. So that is like one of my favorite features. of the bag for sure. So my phone was definitely in there. I knew where it was at all times. Then in the top right now, because I took this out again, like now this is kind of like my go-to bag when I just grab my 35. I love it. I do have a shoulder bag that I use as well, and that was the only other one I had, and I didn't want to try and snowboard with this. Like it just didn't feel right. This is way, way better. In here is another camera my uncle gave me. My uncle's pretty awesome. It is a Polaroid Impulse, and I threw this in there. We were just traveling up to Door County for the day, and I like having this almost out of film, but I do like the Polaroid. It's a very fun camera. So that's what I currently have in here. But when we were snowboarding, I had Avery's extra layers and sweatshirts in the top here, so it's kind of like a day pack on the top, and then I had just tons of snacks in here, so it packed up really, really nice. There's tons of little pockets and places to put stuff. Then there's also, have not used this, but it looks like, you know, you could definitely do a small laptop or iPad. I'm not sure of the exact specs. Well, let me see. I got an iPad Pro right here. We'll see if an iPad Pro fits in there. Yeah, perfectly. So an iPad Pro, this is a 2000, I want to say 18, but it's a 12.9 inch iPad Pro would fit in there. I have not used it, but it does fit in there. So that is pretty cool. Then the other thing is, if you do a lot of traveling, I think this is for going around like a rolling case. So that's always nice to have for sure, a nice add. And that is pretty much it. So I was going through and trying to find bags, and I couldn't really find one that exactly fit the bill. So I am super grateful that Brevite reached out and sent me this pack. I'm really happy with it. You know, I can't say anything too bad about it. I've had a lot of different bags over the years, and some of my bigger bags are probably like more durable, and they're gonna, you know, they're just beefier, but that comes with added weight. So I like that this is nice and super lightweight. Like I barely even knew I had it on my back, and this is not a light 35mm camera. So if I want to go light, I usually use the AE1 because it's quite a bit lighter than this one. But I had it in here, and it didn't bother me at all. So I have to say it's a really nice looking pack. I like the color they sent me. They got a nice logo. All right, let me put all this stuff back in here since I am going to be doing another day trip with the family soon, and I just can't say enough good things about this lens and this camera. That 50 is pretty slick too. This is the nuclear version, or the one that turns yellow. You got to put it on a UV light, but I think it's safe to use for the most part. So let's put all this stuff back. And can't forget the Polaroid. That's just nice. That's just fun to have. It's funny, my wife, she's like, I don't like that Polaroid film, looks blah blah blah. Looks like someone took a picture of someone you held hostage in the basement, blah blah blah. And then we're in the car one day, and I took that picture, and Avery's in the middle, and I think this is my favorite family picture, and she loved this one too. So I think her attitude changed on Polaroid once we did that. But anyway, so let me go grab that print, and I will show you, because I love this lift print. It is one of my favorites. It was made with Forte Elegance paper that I bought a lot of. It's been long expired, and then it was also developed in Morse SE5. And I'm really happy with the results and looking forward to printing some more with that paper and that developer. So let me go get that. So here is the print I was talking about. I just pulled it off the dry mount press. I really am digging it quite a bit. In fact, I think I'm gonna spend this afternoon putting this in a mat and hopefully a frame. But again, this was with Forte Elegance. Any of the Forte papers, if you can get a hold of them, are just, a lot of them with really, really cool. And SE5, which I'm trying to switch to, mostly for health reasons. And so yeah, there's that. again, I just want to thank Brevite for the awesome bag. I would definitely check them out if you're in the market for a new camera bag. I'll leave a link in the description below. And they have a bunch of other bags too, so go check them out. And I think I'll probably do what's in my bag for medium format and my large format as well, because this was fun, and I always like to see what's in other people's camera bags. So, and a lot of times, you know, you'll probably give me tips on stuff that I don't have in my bag that I probably should. So anyway, see you in the next video.